how to find freedom from dangerous attachments, how to deal with inevitable changes in life with dignity, how to stop being a slave to your emotions and find true freedom. Imagine that you are very attached to a person. So much so that they are willing to go to extreme measures just to keep him. But the more you cling, the more you risk losing it. After all, excessive emotional attachment is dangerous. This leads to control, manipulation and painful relationships. We risk losing ourselves and our freedom. In fact, we cling not to people, but to our own illusions and expectations. But how do you stop clinging and learn to let go? How to find harmony in relationships? The philosophy of Stoicism provides the answers. The principles of Stoicism are applied as described practical steps to detach oneself from people and situations. Therefore, we encourage you to stay with us until the end and take note of each step as a powerful guide to wisdom that will help you navigate the often turbulent waters of human relationships and emotions. But before we begin, I remind you of our Telegram channel, by subscribing to which you will become even closer to the philosophy of Stoicism. First step. Step away from this person for a while. Sometimes the wisest thing is to create distance, but not to create emptiness, but to gain clarity. Imagine this. You're at a colorful party, the music is loud, people are talking. And you're trying to understand your friend's whispers. It's difficult, isn't it? This happens when we are too close to a person or situation. Our emotions, like the noise of a holiday, drown out clarity. Leaving is like leaving a party to a quieter place where you can hear and think clearly. Seneca, who had deep insight, once said, "Whenever you travel, return to yourself." We're not just talking about physical space, but also mental and emotional space. When feelings cloud our vision, taking a step back helps us observe them like clouds moving across the sky and realize that they are separate from us. This is detachment, not coldness, but a way of objectively observing the situation and our reactions to it. You need to see the chessboard, not just the chess piece you are holding in your hands. To apply this today, you don't need a villa in the countryside like the ancient Stoics. The magnificent path of quiet moments is where we find the strength to make decisions based not on immediate emotions, but on thoughtful thoughts and inner wisdom. This step back is your strength, your space to breathe and see through the fog of the moment. Step 2. Think about the rationality of distancing or the relationship itself. Deciding to distance yourself from someone is not a hasty decision. It is a thoughtful process that reflects rationality and virtue and values Stoicism. Think of your life as a boat trip. The people in your life are like winds and currents. Some help you swim smoothly, while others can lead you into choppy waters. This is where you, as the captain, need to decide which winds to use and which storms to avoid. This decision is not about avoidance. It's about taking your life in a direction that aligns with your values and well-being. Epictetus, a Stoic who transformed his life from slavery to wisdom, often emphasized the importance of choosing associations that correspond to our inner freedom. His life teaches us a valuable lesson. Not everyone who comes into our lives brings light. Some cast shadows that can dull our own shine. Think of your relationships as mirrors. What do they reflect in themselves? Joy, growth and understanding, or doubt, discomfort and anxiety? Deciding to distance yourself is not an act of refusal. It is a conscious choice for the sake of self-preservation and moral integrity. Stoicism is not cold logic, it is warm wisdom. He asks us to consider whether this person adds harmony to my life or disrupts it with a dissonant note. As you think about this, remember the words of Epictetus: distracting from your path. Ultimately, choosing to distance yourself means creating a life story that you are proud to tell. It's about being true to yourself, your values and your path. Stoicism teaches us to embrace relationships that enrich our narrative and to gently let go of those that don't. It's about creating a life in which every person and every experience is a measured, thoughtful addition to the picture of your existence. Step 3. Talk to someone you can rely on. When the world feels like a puzzle and you're struggling to piece it together, it's time to reach out. Stoicism, while promoting inner strength, also values the power of connection. Talking to someone we trust is like finding an anchor in a choppy sea. It's not about getting rid of problems, but about gaining clarity and perspective. Think of it as a navigator on life's journey. Someone who helps you navigate the terrain when your own compass is a little off. Seneca, with his deep understanding of human nature, recognized the power of shared wisdom. He compared his friend to a mirror, reflecting not only our appearance, but also our innermost truths. This reflection is not just for seeing yourself clearly. It's about understanding our path. When you open up to someone, you are not just sharing words, you are inviting them into your inner world, offering them insight into your thoughts and emotions. Such an exchange creates a space of mutual understanding and support, where opinions are exchanged, and not just sympathy. Choose your confidant wisely, someone who embodies the values you strive for. This person will become your soundboard, helping you sort through your thoughts and feelings. They are not obligated to solve your problems. Sometimes just listening is enough. Their presence is a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. By sharing your thoughts, you may find nuggets of wisdom in their responses. Little nuggets of truth that will help you see things differently. Little nuggets of truth that will help you see things differently. Stoicism teaches us that life's challenges are best overcome with peace of mind and a supportive circle. This reinforces the idea that strength often comes from unity. Remember that withdrawing from a person or situation does not mean withdrawing from all human connections. In fact, it is these connections that provide the strength and perspective needed to navigate the complexities of life. Your conversations with this trusted person are not just conversations. They are bridges to understanding, paths to clarity and an anchor in the ever-changing sea of life. Step 4. Set boundaries for your feelings. Owning your emotional landscape is like being the captain of a ship sailing through a storm. Waves are our feelings, powerful and sometimes irresistible. Stoicism teaches us not to avoid these waves, but to navigate them skillfully and wisely. It's about knowing when to let the waves carry us. Epictetus, with his deep understanding of the human soul, reminds us that it is not things that bother us, but how we look at them. This perspective is the key to setting emotional boundaries. It is like a gatekeeper in our mind that recognizes each visitor. That is, our feelings, but does not allow each of them to take over the house, that is, our inner world. For example, when anger comes knocking, we acknowledge it, understand its cause, but do not allow it to sit at our table and dictate our actions. It's about talking to our emotions, understanding their place and gently guiding them to a place where they don't cloud our minds. In practical terms, setting limits can mean setting a time limit for feeling a certain way. Let's say for the next hour I allow myself to be upset about this and then focus on solving the problem. It's not about denying the feelings, but about managing their impact. It is a balancing act, like a tightrope walker who recognizes the height but concentrates on the rope. By doing this, we honor our feelings without becoming slaves to them. We feel, understand, and then gently guide ourselves back into balance and rationality. This process is not suppression. It's about moderation. Just like adding the right amount of sugar to your tea. Just enough to taste it, but not so much that it's too much. Step 5. Think carefully about the possible consequences of distancing. When you are at a crossroads where you need to step back, take time in each path. Stoicism is not about impulsive decisions. It lies in thoughtful consideration. Imagine that every road is a possible future, and every turn is a different outcome. What awaits you on the path of distance? Will it bring peace, growth and self-esteem? Or will it leave behind a trail of regrets and missed opportunities? Foresight is not a confident prediction of the future, but wise preparation for it. Marcus Aurelius, the man on whose shoulders an entire empire rested, is not a confident prediction of the future, but a wise preparation for it. Marcus Aurelius, the man on whose shoulders an entire empire rested, once said, "Look back at the past with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you will be able to foresee the future." His words echo the Stoic practice of reflecting on past experiences to make future decisions. Think about times when you have become distant from yourself. What were the results? Did this space bring clarity, peace, or lead to isolation and regret? Use these reflections as a guide, as a way to learn from the past to navigate the future. A way to learn from the past to navigate the future. Finally, think about how your decision will affect others. Stoicism teaches us to balance our needs with the common good. By setting yourself apart, you help yourself grow and make a positive contribution to the lives of others. Or you could potentially cause harm or misunderstanding. This step is not only related to one's own interests. It's about harmonizing your well-being with the world around you. It's like watching your steps in the garden so that they promote growth and don't trample the flowers. Detachment, in the Stoic sense, is an act of wisdom. A carefully considered decision that takes into account not only oneself, but the interconnected network of relationships in which we all exist. Step 6. Take a break from social media. Imagine your mind as a serene lake. Now imagine that social media is raindrops constantly disturbing its calm surface. These drops are endless updates, notifications and comparisons that penetrate our peace. Stoicism, a philosophy that flourished long before the advent of the digital age, still offers timeless wisdom for dealing with such disruptions. Cynic, who reflected on the brevity of life, would likely view social media as one of the many unnecessary distractions of modern life. He once wisely remarked, "Life is long if you know how to use it." So this step of detachment is about reclaiming your time and attention, choosing where to focus your precious energy. In the world of social media, our attention is a commodity that everyone wants. By stepping back, we don't just avoid the digital deluge, we give our minds room to breathe, to think, to be. This is akin to closing the curtains on a noisy street outside the window. Noise, bustle, constant movement, all this remains. But for a moment it doesn't concern you. You are in your quiet room, where there is room for reflection, understanding, growth. Taking a break from social media is not an escape, but an exercise in self-care. It's about understanding what enriches us and what depletes us. During your break, observe the changes in your mental landscape. Do you feel calmer, more present, more aware of your thoughts and feelings? This is mindfulness, the heart of Stoicism. Understanding what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. It is the realization that although we cannot stop the rain, we can choose to take shelter and enjoy the sound of the raindrops without getting wet. Taking a break from social media in the modern world is like stepping off a fast-moving train. It is quiet and calm here, but in this silence lies clarity. As you begin this social media break, remember Seneca's words and use this time wisely. Read a book, take a walk, write in a journal. Do things that feed your soul rather than just pass the time. This break is your time to reconnect with yourself. 7th step. Consciously focus on your basic needs. In this final step on the path of detachment, turn your attention inward to the very core of your being. This is the essence of Stoicism. Focus on what is truly important for your inner growth and well-being. It's about letting go of the non-essentials, the noise, the frivolities, and focusing on what feeds your soul. This is not about material needs. Everything is much deeper. It's about emotional nourishment, moral integrity, and personal growth. Think of your life as a garden. What does he need to thrive? Sunlight, water, care. This is the most necessary thing. Likewise, determine what is necessary for your emotional and spiritual growth and focus on developing those aspects. Born into difficult circumstances, Epictetus understood the importance of focusing on what really mattered. His teaching emphasizes the power of entertainment to separate the wheat from the chaff in our lives. Wealth does not consist in having many possessions, but in having few desires. Apply this wisdom to your emotional landscape. You need to know what you need to feel fulfilled, stable, and at peace. It is an acknowledgement of what it takes sometimes to feel complete, stable, and at peace. It's an acknowledgement that sometimes less is more. In a world of endless choice and distraction, one must find satisfaction in simplicity and depth. In practice, this means taking time to reflect on what brings you true happiness and peace. This is silence alone, meaningful conversations with friends, hobbies. Identify these basic needs and make them a priority. It's like packing for a trip. Take with you only the essentials. Those things that add value to your trip. This mindful focus helps you distance yourself from the unnecessary, from people and situations that do not meet your basic needs. By focusing your life on these needs, you will create a foundation of stability and contentment. This is not a one-time task, but an ongoing process, constantly returning to what really matters. As you go through life, constantly address your basic needs, adjusting and changing them as you grow and develop. This focus will become your compass, guiding you through life's challenging paths with clarity and purpose. It's about living consciously, not just existing. And in this intentional existence you find the essence of Stoicism. A life lived with purpose, wisdom and inner peace. Stoicism is a wise choice in life. Sort of like choosing the best from a buffet. Stoic philosophers believe that what we need is not always the same as what we want. It's like choosing snacks that are good for you, not just those that are appetizing at the moment. Think of your life as a smorgasbord of things like friends, activities, and experiences. Instead of grabbing everything, Stoicism says it's better to choose what will truly fulfill you and make you happy in the long run. It's like saying, I choose what's good for my heart and my head. Think about what you really need for emotional well-being and growth. As we embark on the path away from decisions, away from attachment to people and situations, we find in the teachings of Stoicism a treasure trove of deep insights and practical advice. This philosophy invites us to consider the reasons for our distancing, engage in transparent dialogue, set boundaries on emotional reactions, reflect on the consequences of our actions. Take a break from the pressure of external influences such as social media, and focus on our basic needs. Such actions are consistent with the Stoic virtues. The tenets of Stoicism shine as a beacon of inspiration, guiding us toward a life enriched by virtue, wisdom, and emotional resilience. We welcome your thoughts in the comments. Which step resonates with you, or which one would you like to try? If you found value in this video, we encourage you to show your appreciation by liking it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, share with those you care about, and ring the notification bell to be the first to enjoy our new videos on Stoic wisdom. Cheerfulness.